construction's really, I mean, it's a hassle now, being on the fact that if you're going across campus to like the sorority houses or Ferguson or anything over there, I think it puts a little stress on time.
The construction right now is kind of inconvenient, but I do know that it means the university's growing.
I don't really understand what they're for. I haven't been told what the construction's for, but I don't like it at all. I think it's kind of an inconvenience.
Personally, I really don't care. I live on campus, so I walk everywhere. So I just feel bad for the people that are commuting, that's all.
Hi, I'm Dan Jones. Welcome back to the President's Table. As you guessed, our topic for this segment is all of the street construction that's going on around campus. And this is a unique project that involves a partnership between Texas A&M University Commerce and the City of Commerce. We've had a lot of streets contiguous to the university that have needed a lot of work for a long time. So that work is finally getting done. I completely understand what our students were talking about. It is an inconvenience, and sometimes you don't always know exactly the direction you're going to have to go to class from one day to the next, but I assure them and all of you that when this project is finished, everyone is going to be thrilled with the result. Our guests to talk about these projects really, are David McKenna, the facilities manager with the university, and Mark Clayton, the city manager for the City of Commerce. And Mark, let me start with you and just ask you kind of the way this project got put together, because this is an unusual kind of a partnership.
Thank you, Dr. Jones. It is a unique partnership. It started with the Citizens of Commerce voting in 2008 to sell some bonds to do some street work, because quite honestly, we never can find enough money in our annual budget to do a major street reconstruction project. So the citizens voted to sell $3 million worth of bonds. We just had a street inventory system performed, so we actually knew our worst streets, our high traffic streets, and the streets that should rate high on the list as far as priority. So that started the project. We didn't actually sell the bonds till 2010 due to several other financial factors that were involved, but in 2010 the City Council agreed to go forward with the project. We sold the bonds, and once we identified the streets, the university, we were fortunate enough for the university to offer to share part of those costs to the streets that actually feed into the university or border the university. And that got us started on a 3-year process. Of course, you had to do a lot of engineering and environmental studies, because part of the funding was coming from the Texas Water Development Board to do some of the work underneath the streets, the water and wastewater infrastructure. And you have to meet a lot of requirements with them using their money. So that did delay the project a little bit, but there's 3 funding sources. It's Texas Water Development Board, the university, and the city.
Right. So yeah, it's that makes the project possible, is combining all of those funding sources, but yes, the planning gets a little complicated with so many agencies involved.
Well, there's 2 engineering firms. We had one engineering firm that was doing the underground, and then one engineering firm that was doing the street reconstruction, which brought along different contractors. So there's a lot of players in the project.
Exactly. David, could you talk a little bit about the university's role in getting this project moving, and how the university is participating, and how this is going to benefit not just the university, but the entire community?
Well, at the outset, as Mark said, the university was approached by the city, and after some, I think a very quick discussion with yourself and Mr. Brown about some funds to help out with that, went forward identifying the 5 streets that surround the university, and the university, moved those streets up on the list, so that year 1 was projects they already had in progress, and year 2 has been Lee Street and Stonewall, and hitting some of these corridor streets that form boundaries around the university and are key to improving the transit and the efforts around there. And part of the new street work will be bike paths that are included in this. And Lee Street will certainly see, it will be a wider street, have new curbs, sidewalks, and prevent a lot of traffic problems we currently have, but also be a great access point to the field house, to the northeast side of campus, and really get some of that congestion off of campus. But the movement, as Mark said, there's some pains of getting there. Yeah. But once we get there, I think everybody will be very happy with the product.
Yeah, I'm sure they will. And just kind of to reference something both of you mentioned, part of the complication of this project is the fact that it's not just stripping off old pavement and putting down a new layer. There's a lot underneath the ground that has to be taken into consideration. And this is an opportunity to do some much needed work with that infrastructure as well. But it does slow things down.
It does.
And where are we in the project right now, Mark?
Well, year one was actually Harlow Road, which is out off 3218 down
Right.
to Charity. That was our project for year one. So the balance of the streets ended up being what we call year two and year three, which is 2013, 2014. We've broken the year two and three down into what we call 3 phases, which each phase is estimated to take 8 months. That
Okay.
gets our 2 years there.
Right.
If we can stay on schedule, which we are right now, we will be finished in the end of 2014.
With the entire project?
Yes, yes.
Right.
And hopefully move on to a new project.
Right, right. Well, again, I think people, especially on Lee Street, because that street was in pretty bad shape.
Very bad.
And it'll be wider, a lot smoother, a lot more appealing entrance and egress point to campus. Well, let me ask the big question. So when's that one going to be done? Because right now Lee Street and Bodark are pretty torn up. And what's your best guess? We are on schedule, right?
Well, just talked with Mark earlier, they're going to start Wednesday with the resurfacing of Lee. That process will begin. And once again, we're looking at probably somewhere in the summer. I would think that completion would be done on that probably later part of the summer for Lee Street, and then there's a half a block on Bodark there that'll be done in the process too. But there's quite a bit of work, and it's not just coming in there and throwing asphalt on there and any of that. There's quite a bit of work to be done prior to the sealing and getting to the fine points of finishing the street. So it's a work in progress, and they'll see the trucks, the people, and the congestion for the next few months.
Right. Well, there's only one way forward, and it involves a little bit of inconvenience,
Yes.
but again, I think people will agree that it was well worth the wait. During this time, access to campus will remain open, is my understanding?
Yes, part of the agreement with them that always the access points across Lee Street to the parking lots would be available. If they're shut down, it would be very limited or partial. But we want to keep access to those parking lots for students, visitors, faculty, and staff. And so that's a key part of it. We just have to work through some of those elements related to in the final pour or some of those things. That's going to be a little edgy on that, but we hope to have, and we have some other points off the parking lot so people won't get stuck in there.
Right. We don't want them driving for 8 o'clock class and have to leave the car there for a couple of weeks, right?
That's right.
Right. Well, it's a great partnership, and it's another example of how the City of Commerce and the university can come together to undertake a project that really benefits both the students, the faculty, the staff, as well as the people of Commerce. So we appreciate all the planning and hard work that's gone into it, and look forward to seeing the finished product. So thank you, Mark Clayton, for joining us, and David McKenna.
Thank you.
And we'll be back in a moment for the final segment of the President's Table.